Greetings. My name is Mike Edelman. I'm the Director of Education for WVIZ PBS Idea Stream in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you for joining me for a brief presentation on how to keep your child safe online and when using mobile technologies. As parents of school-aged children, we have the unique honor of being what experts call first-generation internet parents. What exactly does this mean? It means that our children are the first people in the world to be raised with the internet as a normal, everyday part of lives. Not surprisingly, many of us are uneasy as we try to understand the impact of this medium on our children and families. We know it's up to us to make sure our children use the internet safely and wisely, yet many of us aren't quite sure how to do that, especially since our children to know how to use the internet much better than we do. Which brings me to my goals for this presentation. First, we'll discuss what children are doing online and with mobile devices. Knowing what draws children to the internet is the first step toward understanding its impact. Second, we will show you some things that you can do as a parent to help keep your child safe online and when using mobile devices. And finally, we'll talk about the importance of teaching your child to use the internet and mobile devices wisely and safely. Learning to use the internet is an important life skill, and it's becoming increasingly important as time goes on. You may be tempted to shield your child from it as long as possible. But the internet is woven so tightly into our daily lives that we all need to become comfortable with it. At some point, your child will be going online without supervision. And just as you need to know that your child understands basic safety rules before you'll allow them to cross the street alone, you should be assured that your child is prepared for whatever he or she may encounter online or when using a mobile device. This presentation is meant to be the beginning of a discussion. We'll explore internet and mobile device safety here tonight, and I hope you'll take this conversation home to your families to determine what is best for your household. With so many ways to get on the internet, it's harder than ever to monitor our children's online activities. That's why it's so crucial that we teach our children how to use the technology safely and how to make smart decisions while online. In today's world, children are being fast-tracked with internet usage. It has become their way of hanging out with friends, learning, doing homework, seeing their families, and the list goes on. The internet has quickly become their social and school world. So what are children doing online? The answer depends on your child's age. But in general, kids use the internet to visit online worlds like WOUB, Poptrokia, and Club Penguin. They play games with people who they may or may not know. They text each other and communicate with each other on cell phones or chat through instant messaging or direct messages. They use social networking sites where they can post photos and videos, play games, and communicate with their friends. They view and post videos on video sharing sites like YouTube. They download music, movies, and images, and create and upload their own writing, music, videos, and art. And just because it's 2020, the internet is the first stop for many children for education and socializing with their friends. An estimated 200 virtual worlds are either live, planned, or in development right now. And the universe is expanding all the time, with major brands like Nickelodeon, Mattel's Barbie establishing their own virtual worlds. Many virtual worlds work like this. A child will join by creating an account and choosing a virtual character. Most virtual worlds are free to join, though some extend extra privileges to paying subscribers. As a resident of the virtual world, your child plays games, earns virtual money, and uses it to buy clothing, furnishings, and other merchandise for his character. Players can chat and play games with other players of all ages. Some sites geared to younger children restrict communication with pre-written messages. Some virtual worlds allow children to compose their own messages if they have parental permission, but block inappropriate words and combination of words that may reveal a child's identity, address, phone number, or other personal information. Always keep in mind that users can often get around these restrictions with creative spellings of certain words. As with anything else, some virtual worlds are better than others. Just as you wouldn't allow your child to visit a new place alone in the real world, you should take a trip to check out any virtual world your child wants to join. The best of the virtual worlds have a strong educational component, but many of them emphasize consumerism and can give children the impression that money is easy to acquire and life is all about spending it to accumulate more and more things. If that isn't one of your values, take the time to talk to your child about being financially responsible. Also keep in mind that many of these virtual worlds will sell your child's information. If there are virtual worlds you don't want your child to visit, you can use the parental controls in your security software downloaded on your computer or the security preferences on your web browser to block categories of sites. Or you can also create a whitelist of sites your child is allowed to access while online. If you have more than one child, you can often customize these whitelists for each child. And again, I want to remind you that many sites can sell your information. Social networking sites like Facebook are very popular with teenagers and adults alike. Chances are pretty high that you have a Facebook profile, and you probably know several other people who do. In the event that you don't, or you're unfamiliar with social networking sites allow users to create profiles or pages where they can post photos, list their interests, post favorite songs and videos, play games, and communicate with friends. After a user creates a social networking profile, he builds a friends list, inviting people he knows and some that he may not know to view his profile. Friend lists can quickly grow to hundreds of people as friends link one another to their own networks of friends. Social networking sites also allow users to find and connect with people who share an interest, say in a certain television show, band, American Idol contestant, or actor. Users can discuss their interests and become friends with people they've never met from all over the world, and in many cases of all ages. Most social networking sites have age limits restricting use to teenagers 13 and older, for example. But these policies are essentially meaningless because there's no way to verify a user's age. Teenagers and preteens especially are drawn to social networking sites because the sites allow them to try on different personalities at a time when they're experimenting with their own identity. These sites also serve as a virtual hangout, allowing children to socialize with lots of people. And we all know how important friends are to preteens and teenagers, particularly in this time of social isolation and social distancing. Other sites in the social networking category include Twitter, which allows users to send out short messages of 140 characters or less to everyone who has signed up to follow them. Texting with a cell phone or other mobile device has replaced email and actual phone conversations as the preferred method of communication among preteens, teens, and most adults. Chatting through social networking sites, instant messaging software, and on virtual worlds keeps kids in constant touch with one another. To use an instant message, users choose a screen name and add friends to their buddy list. So when they log on, they instantly know who else is logged onto a computer at the same time. I don't share this with you because you don't know. I share this because texting and messaging has become what note passing was when we were all in school. Half of all American teenagers send an average of 50 text messages a day, according to the Pew Research Center's Internet Project, and 1 in 3 sends 100 text messages a day. Most cell phones allow users to send photos and videos to their friends' cell phones and email addresses as well. The ease with which teenagers and preteens can send content to one another over the phone can lead to some major regrets and even criminal action. You've probably heard of the term sexting, sending sexually suggestive messages, photos, or videos over the phone. Give some kids a camera-equipped phone and a dare, and before you know it, unfortunate photos of them are circulating around their middle school. In some jurisdictions and states, teenagers who have sent explicit messages or received explicit messages have been charged with distributing child pornography. It's important to talk with your child about the dangers of sexting. Children should know that taking and sending nude or partially nude images of themselves, even as a joke, and to be seen by one person only, is like disrobing outside of school and walking through the front doors for everyone to see. By the same token, tell your child that if he or she ever receives such a message, it should be deleted immediately. Forwarding it to others is not only cruel, but can also create legal issues. Video sharing sites like YouTube are also very popular. Users can create and post their own videos and view those posted by others. These sites also allow users to comment on or rate videos. YouTube and other sites restrict objectionable material, but because it's up to users to report violations, viewers may still be exposed to inappropriate content. Online games allow people to play against others that they may or may not know. While this has an added social development to playing video games, it also adds an element of risk. Many online games have a text or voice chat capability allowing players to talk to one another in real time during the game. Xbox Live has safety features that allow players to mask their voices, but children can still be exposed to profanity, harassment, and worse. Becoming familiar with the safety settings on game consoles and handheld devices can be a powerful tool in keeping your child safe. These can give you some control over your child's gaming, allow you to restrict the types of games your child may play, designate the amount of time your child plays, and even set the time of day he or she may play. You can also set safety options and to pre-approve friend requests to play online or to disable internet access altogether. And always encourage your child never to meet somebody that they met on one of these sites. Now let's take a look at some of the concerns that arise when children use the internet. What are you most worried about as parents? Issues include online bullying, viewing inappropriate or disturbing content, and downloading viruses and other damaging files. Another concern is much less common, and that is the concern of sexual predators. Let's start with cyberbullying, which means using the internet or other communications technology, such as cell phones or direct messaging in apps, to tease, harass, threaten, or intimidate another person. It can happen through online games, social networking, video sharing sites, virtually anywhere on the internet. It can also happen through cell phone text messaging. Some examples of cyberbullying are posting or forwarding a private text, instant message, or email to others, tricking someone into revealing personal information and then forwarding it or posting it to where others will see it, forwarding or posting embarrassing or unflattering photos or videos, and this includes sexting, which we referenced earlier, spreading malicious rumors about classmates and others, stealing passwords and using them to lock a victim out of his own account, to change the content of the account, and or to post or send from the account while pretending to be the victim. Stealing a cell phone and using it to send embarrassing or hurtful texts while pretending to be the victim. Cyberbullying can be just as hurtful as being pushed around in the schoolyard or being called names at recess. In fact, it can be worse because it happens to children when adults aren't around, and it happens in their own homes, the very place that should be a refuge from hurtful behavior. The anonymity of the internet often emboldens bullies to say and do things that they would never do face to face, and the victim may never know the identity of their harasser. Talk with your child about cyberbullying before it happens, so he will be prepared if it does happen. Teach your child never to respond to taunting or teasing online. Fighting back often escalates a situation. Never reveal personal or potentially embarrassing information in a text, instant message, email, direct message, or an online posting, even to a close friend. Before your child puts anything online, he should ask himself how he would feel if his classmates, teachers, principals parents and the rest of the world were to see it. If he wouldn't want anyone else to see it, he should keep it to himself and not post it. It's also important to remind your child not to use the internet to hurt other people. Not only is it wrong, but often it is illegal to harass or threaten another person by any means, including the internet. If your child is a victim of cyberbullying, make sure she blocks the cyberbully from her account to prevent further contact. Your child should save any communication from the bullying and tell you or another trusted adult right away. You may decide to notify your school's principal if it is occurring in school or, and this is an important part, or if it is impacting your child's learning. If the problem is severe, seriously consider contacting your local law enforcement agency. The very same feature that makes the internet such an amazing resource is its ability to give us instant access to vast amounts of news, information, and viewpoints can also expose our children to frightening and disturbing content. Children who misspell a website address or click on the wrong link might stumble upon pornographic images and text, hate speech, or other inappropriate content. So how can we protect our children from accidentally seeing or reading inappropriate content? We can use the parental controls in our security software to limit the sites our children can visit. We can use special blocking and filtering software that's often available for free to keep our children from seeing inappropriate content. You can bookmark your child's favorite sites so he or she can easily find them and will be less likely to stumble upon inappropriate websites. Teach your child to use search engines designed specifically for children. Check your web browser's history to learn what sites your child has visited. If you find that your child has spent time viewing inappropriate sites, talk with your child about this and remind him or her about your family's rules and values. Make sure your child knows how to turn the monitor off immediately and to tell you or another adult if she sees something disturbing. If this happens, try not to overreact. Instead, use it as an opportunity to have a discussion about your values and what is right and wrong for your household, and reassure your child that it's not their fault. Your child is often more likely to report objectionable material if they know they will not be punished for accidentally stumbling upon it. Malware refers to viruses, spyware, and other malicious files that can affect your computer. Malware can track the sites you visit, steal your personal information, including financial data, and even use your computer to send spam or infect other computers. The best defense against malware is to have up-to-date virus protection software on your computer, but it's critical that you teach your child how to avoid content that might infect your computer. Make sure your child knows. Don't open an email from someone you don't know. Hit delete instead. Never click on a pop-up ad. Turn on the pop-up blocker in your web browser's system settings. Don't fall for supposed free offers or contests that require you to click on a link or button. Download software or enter your personal information. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Stick to news sites that you know and trust. Often cyber criminals will create fake websites about current events or popular figures in the news. The real purpose of these sites is to draw people in to infect their computers. Download programs only from reputable sites. Another common tactic is to offer sneak peeks of movie trailers and other videos that require a special download to view. The downloads are in fact malware. Be aware that you should never have to download special software to view a movie trailer or another video. Avoid file sharing sites. You may pick up viruses from another user's computer or download illegal content. Online sexual predators are people who use the anonymity of the internet to portray themselves as children or kindly adults. Their motive is to get children and teenagers to reveal where they live or go to school, or to trick them into meeting face-to-face. These incidents get a lot of media attention, but fortunately they're rare. However, that does not mean it's something that we should not be concerned about. One of the reasons why incidents involving online predators are rare is because children have listened to the warnings of parents and other grown-ups and have learned to become alert to the dangers. It is vital that you teach your child never to reveal personal information online, such as his name, address, phone number, age, and the name of his or her school. Your child should not post pictures of himself or send them to anyone he doesn't know personally, and that means anyone other than a close personal friend or family member. If your child has a social networking site, check it frequently. Sometimes well-meaning friends will post messages or photographs with identifying information. Make sure your child knows to remove any identifying postings from his site and to be careful about naming friends and others in photographs that he posts of him or her, of himself. Also, make sure your child's screen name isn't provocative or descriptive in any way. Even something seemingly innocent, such as little cheerleader, can be a tip-off that the screen name begins to a young girl. The best way to help your child stay safe online is to learn for yourself about the places she will be visiting. Spend time on these sites, play the online games yourself, and become familiar with the virtual worlds. Create your own social networking accounts so you'll learn how to restrict the people who can interact with your child, and you can monitor their behavior and activities. Be sure to read and explain each site's privacy policy to your child before allowing her to create a profile or use the program. Many sites also post safety tips and have some online tutorials. Make sure the sites and applications your child uses allow you to restrict access to approved people only. That way, nobody will be able to view your child's posts or get in touch with him unless you or your child grants permission. If your child uses a cell phone, learn how to use its security software. Most cell phones have GPS technology, and a child may download apps or special software that send their physical location to friends. Ask your child whether he or she uses a location sharing service. If he or she does, check the context list to make sure you approve of the friends who have access to the location of your child. If someone suspicious does contact your child, either on the internet or through a mobile device, specifically using an app, make sure your child knows not to respond. Your child should also tell you right away. Save the message in the event you decide to notify your internet service provider. Remember to use your privacy controls to block the person from contacting your child again, and notify CYBERBULLYING, which is run by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The site is www.cybertipline.com, and also notify the local authorities. If the person sends a photo of him or her, of himself, or asks to meet in person, or if you suspect that person is your community, contact local law enforcement immediately. Here's some basic rules for using the internet. These will help keep your child safe. Have your child sign an internet safety contract. Many are available online. Keep the computer in a family area where you and your others can easily see the monitor. Additionally, make sure that tablet devices and cell phones are not taken into the bedroom when your child goes to bed. Not only will this improve sleep patterns and sleep habits, but will also protect them from late night use of the internet. Set a time limit on computer use. The American Academy of Pediatrics, easy for you to say, recommends no more than 1 to 2 hours of screen time for all electronic media, including computer, TV, and video games. Know which site your child visits. Check them out before you let your child go on them. And here's my child making an appearance. I'm sorry. Know who your child socializes with online. Check your child's buddy and friend lists to make sure no one is on them that your child doesn't know personally. Write down your child's passwords. Keep your security software up to date and protect your computer from viruses and malicious software programs. Before using the internet, ask your child to agree to the following. Never give out personal information. Never write or post anything online that you wouldn't want your classmates, teachers, principal, parents, and grandparents to see. Treat others online the way you would treat them in person. Don't share your password with anyone, not even your best friend. Never open an email from someone you don't know. Never download or click on anything without checking with your parent first. Finally, be sure to heed your own advice. Many parents love to post photos and talk about their children online. If you do, make sure you're being as cautious with identifying information as you expect your child to be. Of particular interest is our bad habit as parents to share specific information about our child's school. Please be mindful of that. Here are some helpful resources that you should know about. These are all listed here on this slide. Connect Safely is a website with tips, advice, news, and blogs about online safety. All Safe Sites is a search engine with sites that have been reviewed to make sure they're safe for children. Common Sense Media will let you know which websites are appropriate for your child, so it's a good place to start to get the scoop on the sites your child has been asking to visit. School Family Media is a great resource as well, providing many safety tips and online training sessions for parents. All 5 of these sites were used in the production of this presentation. I thank you for your time, and I wish you a good night.